Hey everybody. Alright, well let's go looking at the new content, shall we? Oh boy, so much content. Okay. Supreme Commander G-Arms. Ooh, oh it's even on here. Ooh. Okay, so what happened was we got a data mined image a few hours ago of the Sandrock Custom showing up in the rate up percents. And turns out it's not only on the Japanese banner, but also on the North American one, which is kind of an issue because we don't have access to any Sandrock variants. But this isn't the one that Japan got before from the code. From what I understand from talking to people, it's the Sandrock Custom. So, anyways, we'll ignore that. We'll look at what we did get added into the game with this patch, which is the Moon, our midget welfare, and all that. And hi Eva, what's up? Okay. G-Arms Coin Exchange. We'll start off with the command, as I do, starting with the welfares. While long range, long shot attack raised by 14%. It's just... that word tag is just not common enough to make that really good as a trait. And the percent's not high enough. If it was at least 19 to 20%, but 14 for a welfare head, that's not really bringing a lot. And even if you put marks on this, it barely scratches what's already available in our premium pools, which I guess is something to talk about because, you know, it gets high up there, but those now break 4K because of marks, so just not... It's interesting. Alright, the chest. SD tackle, B plus C. That's a healthy spread. Lower the enemy's melee attack by 19%. Not such a healthy spread. The word tags on this are also really Gundam type, long range. Man, something's really going on with the audio. Jeez. Anyways. It's just not... It's okay at best, in my opinion. With technique attribute, shot guidance. Okay, shot guidance is a meme. It's not really... And the stats on those arms are really low, too. No thanks. The word tags do nothing for it. Good gosh. Long shooter, job. Enemy melee power reduced. Now that's actually a handy part. I've noticed a lot when I'm running my shooter build through Arena that anything melee that gets within 10 feet of me turns me into tofu. So this is pretty nice. The problem is I don't know if it's gonna kind of override what we have available to us, especially now with like the Fenice legs and stuff. So I really gotta do something with this audio. I think the next stream I do, I'm not gonna use the game audio. I'm just gonna have some music or something playing in the background because I hate the skipping. It's getting on my nerves too. I don't know why it's only decided to start doing it now. SD missile launcher. Fire missiles from the launcher mounted on your back. DB spread. Stats are meh. It's not good. Command knife, SD attack, DB spread, lower enemy shot attack, so that kind of plays off the chest, which lowers their melee attack. That is pitifully low for a melee weapon, and it's physical, so you can't even really use it in a shot build effectively, so that's a wash. Grenade launcher, dual wave, A plus D, fire grenades, and it doesn't look like it's a fire while moving or has ammo, so meh. 2600 shot attack. Not... yeah, no. Sorry, dog. At least you have the high firepower tag, not that that helps your case. Alright, the heavy autocannon. Against a large enemy, shooting damage at flat value. Just not useful. And 2600 shot attack. Okay, no. So the Command Gundam overall is very lackluster, but it's an SD kit. You can kind of do the kit bash I guess you've always wanted if you didn't want to roll on gacha. Talking about that, let's roll right into gacha. Oh boy. Okay. Well, let's look at the moon. Also, I found out the moon actually isn't limited. I thought it was. It's not, so I'm just not gonna worry about it and pick the backpack from the premium select, most likely. I like it aesthetically. 2785 shot attack. Forgot to close my windows, so excuse the cars that pass by occasionally. With technique attribute, enemy shooting power reduced by 30%. That's pretty convenient, depending on the type of build you're running. That could be quite nice. 2785 shot attack, 384 melee. Tags are, well, they're bad. The set has a niche use, that high reduction value, the aesthetics for it. The stats are okay though, like they're not great. Alright, torso. Define large enemy. So large enemy talks, it pretty much means things like Xant. I can't recall if things like the really tall suits, like the boss we fought in that one story chapter, counts as well. I'm pretty sure large enemies just refers to the really oversized things, Satan Gundam and all those. Feel free to correct me though if somebody knows the actual definition that the game uses. When you're Outfighter, buff EX skill, you don't need to increase the buff time of EX skills. They already last a ridiculous amount of time on average. Good stats though, 800 melee and shot. Bad word tags though, of course. Arms, butterfly edge. Emit a beam saber from your Gunpla and throw it. AD, 3 seconds, so it's a quick fire. 2785 melee, 1181. Okay, so it has higher than average shot attack for non-Sokai arms. Has lower than average melee attack. The word tags are hot trash, and the EX skills are physical. It's kind of, it looks okay, but it's an aesthetic option, I think is the best way to put it, because there's better available in terms of what's offered. Yeah, it is used to increase the buff duration on things like Bisect or things like that increase your offensive capabilities or whatever. But the only thing that you have to remember is that typically a fight in arena isn't going to last really on average long enough for you to run out of that buff. But on top of that, you have to remember, right, you'll usually have more than one of your suits with a buff type EX skill. You're always going to have buffs up. Whether it's all the buffs is another question, but I don't know if sacrificing an inventory, or not inventory, sacrificing a part slot is really worth it. It depends on your build, obviously. But yeah, anyways, back to the moon. Legs, when armor is 70% or less, EX skill cooldown reduced by 20%. That's one of those enmity type skills, and it has pro tag at least. Cool. Higher than average melee attack. Traits kind of meh. Okay. Backpack. Psycho plate. Physical type. Is this a funnel? Yes. Okay. Wow, my audio is having an absolute shitfest. Okay. So this works a lot like the GN Fangs that we got from the Arch Gundam a while back, where it's a physical type funnel move. Now, why is this cool? Well, for a couple of reasons. First one, funnels up to this point beyond the Arch Gundam, sorry, the best way to put it, up to this point on 4-star, funnels have been beam weapons. So now having it under the physical category means that with the DB plus spread, it actually scales to your melee build. Whether or not that's something you want to implement into your build is another question altogether based on the way funnels currently function. It's really up to you. And unlike beam weapons, which typically have higher pierce than power, this has higher power than pierce. So it's pretty interesting. Whether or not it's top tier, I personally don't think it is. Again, the way that funnels currently work just aren't astounding. But yeah, it's a cool part, and I like that they finally brought us a physical funnel for melee builds. That's really nice. At least it has pro tag, right? Like, gotta roll with the punches. It's better than some of the other stuff we've seen where it just has garbage tags. Alright, with technique attribute, enemy melee power reduced by 30%. Okay. Relatively high melee attack, pro tag shows up again. So, looking at this, I would almost say that this would be better on a shot machine than a melee build, only because being able to reduce melee power is very convenient, and on top of that, technique, you know, it's not really a big deal. You can build technique shooter builds, but the big one is that this weapon slot is not used by shop builds, right? Typically, you're not going to put anything in the melee slot. It's there for a trait, typically not for an EX skill. So this trait may be nice to pick up. Pretty cool. Okay. Downside, obviously, is the sword comes with pro tag instead of something like ace exclusive, but you know, is what it is. When armor 70% or less, EX skill power boosted by 30%. No, I don't like enmity type tags. Oh wow, the word tags are bad too. Mainly being, it's really hard to obviously control how much damage you're taking, and the last thing you want to do is take a few hits, next thing you know you're dead. Especially in arena. That can happen in the blink of an eye if the enemy hits you with a thrown weapon of some sort and you suddenly get nuked. Personal experience. Anyways, the gun is not that good. That's everything for the moon? Okay. I really do like the backpack, but overall I really like the aesthetics. To be fair, I did also really like the Sazabi Verkaz look. The general sleek outline, the way the shoulder pads looked and everything. So it's no surprise I look at this suit and I go like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. It's the same thing, right? It's the prototype for it. But I really like the plates. I like the way that those look and the way that they seem to work. I really hope they at some point upgrade funnels to be really vicious, you know? Something a little better than what they are now. Alright, let's look at our pilots. We have the 4-star Loran Cehack, and we have the 3-star Jamil. Okay, let's look at 3-star Jamil boy. You are a defender. Garbage stats. Enemy shooting power reduced by 20. Okay, that could be handy as a support unit. Not only is he a defender, which are cancerous to deal with when you're playing an arena, but his trait is a global trait affecting the enemy in general. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Food for thought, gentlemen. Food for thought. You might want to think about that as a support pilot. Alright, Loran, what do you got? Or Loran. Okay, so the Mikazuki stat distribution, Outfighter, with technique attribute, all enemy power reduced by 18. Okay, pro tag and high firepower. Okay. I like that spread. And he has a decent job to boot. I'd say that's pretty good overall. You know, if you think about it, that's pretty good. I wish his stats were, like, one of his stats were at the 1600, but I guess when you think about the trade-offs, that's interesting. So it's an offensive, or, well, not an offensive oriented, that'd be 1600, but it's an offensively balanced pilot that reduces all enemy power. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that's amazing or not, but it's definitely really cool. Pro tag and high firepower. It sounds really nice on paper because pro tag boosts melee attack, high firepower boosts melee attack. But the thing you gotta remember is a build that uses pro tag typically won't have high firepower. A build that uses high firepower typically won't have pro tag. So this definitely seems kind of like a jack of all trades type of pilot. Not inherently bad, you know, stats are nice looking, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. Anyways, that's that banner. So I guess just before I wrap up here real quick, I just want to mention that thing in the news showing off the Sandrock, because I touched on it. I don't remember how much I really talked about, but anyways, the Japanese banner for this was mined up a couple hours before this went live, and they had the Sandrock on there just like ours has, but the banner's not available, or the banner for the Sandrock's not here. So there's one of two things. This has happened in the past, actually, in case you forgot. So the first one, I can't remember the suit, but they did the same deal where they had two suits under a percentage, and then later they issued a corrected image that only had one. And it turns out, obviously, it was a mistake. And I feel like this is the same thing here, where they have two suits on the rate up, one is just a mistake. And for whatever reason, yeah, it seems our original picture that we had mined a few days ago only had the moon, whereas the Japanese versions had moon and Sandrock. And it seems like for whatever reason, we're using the same English one that has the moon and the Sandrock. It's just a weird situation, but I'm going to assume it was just a mistake on the part of the developers. Wouldn't be the first mistake, and it's kind of a minor one if you think about it. But hey, you know what? At least it's not an event where a suit we cannot physically obtain has a rate up on it, right? Or not a rate up, but a gain up, I guess, or a bonus. Anyways, so yeah, I'm not going to ramble on anymore. I'm going to wrap up the video here. I've talked about the welfare, the 2 new pilots, and the moon. Yeah, like I said before, I am looking at redoing my Sino Alice videos. I know some people have been watching those, but it's hard to find time, surprisingly. Yeah. Anyways, I'll wrap up. Peace out, guys. I will see you in the next video.